I've got yet another different type of video today. Previously, I would discuss film and television series, whether it be old or upcoming. Last video I detoured and talked about Marvel Comics' newest Aliens vs. Avengers crossover, and now I'd like to revisit an old YouTube channel I absolutely loved growing up. Batinthesun is a channel that joined YouTube on May 23rd of 2006 and has amassed a total of 482 million views as of the time of this recording. Now, I only ever watched Batinthesun for one thing, and that was their series titled SuperPower BeatDown. Yeah, Death Battle was already taken, so what can you do? SuperPower BeatDown is a list of various fictional mashups to get nerds like me to froth at the mouth and debate who'd win in a fight. The winners of these fights were dictated by a majority vote that fans would cast on their website before the official video was published. Now, I did not like this method because obviously the fan favorite would win these fights regardless of if they deserved it. Luckily, most of the time the mashups were so good that both characters were fan favorites, making the voting difficult. As the more battles went on, Batinthesun would release alternate endings to their fights, making voting relatively useless because you would see both outcomes anyways. I guess those people whose ending originally came out got bragging rights because they voted for it. So today I'd figure I revisit the playlist and rank these battles from worst to best based on my own reasoning. I will be ignoring alternate endings and only judging the fights based on the voted winner. So strap in, we have a lot to talk about. So at the bottom of the list we have a race between the 1960s and 1989 Batmobiles. Not much to say about it. The video is amazing considering they got to race some iconic vehicles, but this is not exactly a SuperPower beatdown, which is why I have it as the worst of the playlist because there are no characters battling. The 1960s Batmobile ended up winning the race, and I guess to celebrate they made their female host bikini wash the car. This whole segment is blurred out because I'm assuming due to new YouTube policies, but yeah. The first video definitely shows its age and is a pretty safe spot for the worst on the list. Now, it is the first group fight SuperPower BeatDown has done, and this free-for-all features Connor Kenway from Assassin's Creed, Cortana from Halo for some reason, Max Payne, Lee Everett from Telltale's The Walking Dead, and Voss from Far Cry. What the actual fuck is this mashup? Now, based on the roster, it's safe to assume Connor Kenway has this in the bag because he is going up against regular-ass people and a hologram. Although this was the worst depiction of Lee Everett, man. They really just dressed up some black dude and gave him a baseball bat. It's like they never even played the game.
Oh, you want to get crazy, huh? What a punk! Stay there!
Unsurprisingly, Lee was the first to go. I just hate the way he is portrayed in this. The fight was also incredibly short and extremely predictable, and has my least favorite portrayal of characters. This might be one of their roughest fights yet. The first animated battle brings us the leader of the Autobots versus the armored Avenger. Man, this animation is rough. It's easy to criticize it now because there are very talented animators that make battles that look like this all the time. And this one did come out 8 years ago, and I'd say it looks pretty alright for what it is. The voice acting was way better than other battles, and overall I'd say it was pretty mid. The appeal of SuperPower BeatDown for me is the live action and costumes. Seeing the characters brought to life and battling will always be my preference over a rough 3D animated fight. Overall, it has effort and isn't horrible, but since I'm ranking all of these, I have to put it under some really good fights. Another animated battle, but featuring a fun live action cameo with their Batman actor playing old Bruce Wayne. I have to say, I feel the exact same for this battle as I do Optimus Prime versus Iron Man. Voice acting is good, animation is iffy, and overall it's fine, but not what I like to see from SuperPower BeatDown. This could have easily been a fun live action battle and probably would have saved some money making it that way. We have a pretty iconic battle here for the last episode of SuperPower BeatDown, and it is also another animated fight between the King of the Monsters and the Dragon Zord. Basically a classic Godzilla vs Mechagodzilla. Now, as you know, I am not fond of their animated battles, and this one is still choppy, but is the best produced out of their animated bouts. Now, this was the final SuperPower BeatDown Batinthesun put out, and it was kind of lackluster. It was cool to see Jason David Frank voicing the Green Ranger again. They also announced the next battle would be another animated fight between Kratos and Wonder Woman, but as I searched the net, it is nowhere to be found, so this is the final fight they've put out, and sadly, I have to rank it pretty low. Now this is a very interesting matchup, a powerful mutant like Remy versus the prodigy of Batman. My initial reaction to the mashup was in favor of Gambit based on his power set, but Nightwing is known for taking down superpowered individuals, so I was interested to see the battle. I gotta say man, it was very anticlimactic. The battle had some clunky fighting before it got into the cool acrobatics. They did well with Gambit's powers, but his voice acting I thought was strange. Then they had Nightwing just beat his ass and lay him out. Another rare instance of no fighter dying in a superpower beatdown, but overall this fight was way too short and I felt very underutilized with Gambit's potential for a battle. Kinda disappointed with this one as I feel it was very much going through the motions of superpower beatdown. Out the gate, I like to appreciate the costumes for this one. Love seeing Wolverine matching Batman with the black and gray. We open on Batman spying Wolverine as Logan just blatantly murders someone. Weird. Batman then engages him in a tight hallway. Batman low-key finesses Logan but sustains multiple stab wounds and ultimately is killed. Now, I myself figured Wolverine would win considering his healing factor, but it was really funny how unprepared they made Batman in this short fight. He is the master of prep time, and even though he was surveying Logan, Bruce took no precautions with his suit and weapons to go against the adamantium claws. Similar to the Batmobile racing, they have their own female host, pillow fight another woman in an octagon to celebrate Marvel's win over DC. I'm really not digging the vibe of this after battle scenes. I know this video is 12 years old, but wow, it is awkward. Now we have Darth Vader vs Gandalf, which is a crazy mashup I never even thought of. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are arguably the biggest fictional franchises for nerds globally, and these two are the biggest characters from both respective worlds. So the popularity vote should be pretty split? Well, I think based off the title alone it was pretty obvious Vader would body Gandalf. Old magic is cool and all, but Vader has his own version of the same thing with the Force, and he is in a futuristic enhanced suit with a more deadly stick. There was no way Gandalf would win this in my opinion. For the second battle of the series, it was pretty one-sided. They also had Vader using Force Lightning, which I was taken aback by considering he never used such powers on screen. Maybe in the comics he uses it, but it was a strange sight to see. They also didn't have anyone voicing the characters. Instead, they used voice lines from the Lord of the Rings trilogy for Gandalf. Also, Gandalf's staff can block a lightsaber, and he transforms into Anakin, and we get a Vader mirror match. I was pretty satisfied with this battle. It was well acted, but had a predictable outcome, and the color grading for the fight was way too dark for my liking. So now we pit Tomb Raider vs Uncharted with Lara Croft trying to kill Nathan Drake. This one stands out a bit with the parkour and stunt work, especially with Nathan dodging a train at the start of the fight. Was that a real train? How did they do that if it wasn't? It's cool nonetheless. The shaky cam was very hardcore though. It gave Michael Bay a run for his money. These two felt very in character, and this is the first superpower beatdown where nobody dies. Both Lara and Nathan survived, Lara winning the popular vote and stealing Nathan's artifact. Now I have no personal connection to either Lara or Nathan because I've never played either of their games, but I can appreciate this fight. I also love how the girls got their revenge by shooting the boys with paintball guns. Also, we can gloss over that Indiana Jones cameo at the end. I don't know what that was about. Now this is a very cool battle in my head because both of these characters are just ruthless people, even though Joker has more crazy in him. And based off fan majority, it was easy to see that the Joker would emerge victorious. Nonetheless, it was a fun idea for a fight, and I really like the acting for both Joker and Negan. This one focused the least on flashy sets and visual effects and was just a brawl. I like when they do ones like this because it feels more brutal and really shows their effort and skill because they have to rely on delivering a good fistfight. Joker laughing while getting his ass beat by Negan was peak fanfiction. This one was predictable but fun. And what the fuck is up with that Pennywise cameo?
Time to float.
No floating today, bitch!
Now, this battle was the last live-action fight Batinthesun would release, and it is currently 4 years old. It is sad seeing such a legendary YouTube series putting out a battle that could have come out near the start of their journey instead of some big spectacle, which is a shame because this one is shot very well but is really generic. The acting is better than some of the other stuff, and the effects are good, but they've simply put out better action and spectacle. The fight is a good one, and for that I feel like it's in a good spot on the list. Now we are getting into the really good fights that have cemented SuperPower BeatDown as a legendary series. Interesting story here with Darth Maul wanting the Venom symbiote from Peter, but so weird to see Darth Maul hiding out in a warehouse and using a burner phone to call Spider-Man, especially after we've seen what they can do with Star Wars scenery with another battle on the list. I also know Spidey likes to showboat and talk during his fights, but man, he was annoying in this one. His tone of voice probably was the culprit for that. I hate to shit on voice acting because it's all just fans putting their heart and soul into a fun project, and I fully respect that and appreciate it. But, despite my grievance with Spidey's voice, they had an amazing, legendary Stan Lee cameo. How did they even pull that off? Darth Maul pretty much had the battle in the bag, but Spidey got a cheat code with the symbiote, and using that extra strength and anger won the fight and fucking decapitated Maul. Crazy times we're living in, but this one was kind of a step back in terms of quality for me because they were on a streak with really top-notch battles, and this one felt like it could have came out a few years ago instead of after some of these really good ones. This battle asks the question, who would win between a buff sports jockey and a skinny nerd with heart? This is one of the most lighthearted fights that I think does both the characters justice. Love the banter and the fighting was fucking awesome, like watching professional backyard wrestling. It was shot very well, and my only gripe with it is the ending. Obviously Casey Jones should win this, but he fucking kills Kick-Ass. How they determine who dies and who simply gets defeated is weird to me, because in no way would I think Casey would throw a kid into a fucking train regardless of how brutal their street brawl got. That's my only downside, is that this is their most comedic and realistic battle but with a jarring ending. But it was way better than some other battles, so I'd give it a good mile marker somewhere in the middle of the list. Got some fun world building in this one, showing off the X-Mansion and other X-Men cameos before his big fight, like Nightcrawler, Cyclops, and Jubilee, and a weird sexual scene with Psylocke right at the beginning. SuperPower BeatDown loves their awkward sexual jokes and tension. For some reason, Cyclops drops Wolverine on Themyscira where he engages with Diana and makes a dick joke before battling.
Alright, let's play a game called Just the Tip.
This is the third time they've done a Wolverine battle so far, and it's my least favorite portrayal, sadly. The effects and camera work are really good in this one, as well as a beautiful environment. For some reason, fans voted for Diana to beat him, which I gotta say, for me, it's hard to picture anyone beating Logan, considering his powers are so broken, but I digress. Overall, it was a fine battle, but very cameo-focused. Pretty solid, I would say. We get two seasoned actors from Batinthesun in this one. The guy who plays Nightwing and Joker is back, as well as the actor for Casey Jones, now playing Bucky. This one is shot really well, it's nice to look at, and I love the extra effort, like having the scene with Dick on his motorcycle. There's a lot of heart in this one in terms of choreography and references to the character's history. It's also extremely solid. The action was fluid and clever, and ending with the classic SuperPower BeatDown gruesome death. This one felt like it was better than the basics, but wasn't quite on the master level as some of their best. I put it right in the middle in terms of ranking. Now this one is a fun one. I have a list of things I like about this. The Guardians of the Galaxy vibe with the direction of the whole battle, good effects and sets, great Boba Fett costumes, and Chris Pratt look-alike. It's also fun how they're battling for possession of a Green Lantern ring. Love all the mashups here with multiple franchises.
We could do a good old-fashioned dance-off, bro.
It would have been so funny and realistic if the battle ended right here, but the winner is based on fan majority and Peter Quill ends up winning the fight. It was a pretty good battle and I dug the color and vibe of it. The mashups get better and better, and this one is such a close call for me as I see these two characters as equals, while slightly leaning more towards Frank Castle as the superior. I love how they showcase Frank's arsenal and his ability to just tank damage as long as he's focused at the task at hand. This has got to be the most savage and brutal one they've produced. The way Frank kills Jason is just so gnarly. I love the gritty street level feel to this one, and I feel like with a full script, they could have made this a feature-length fan film. Definitely a strong battle. I love the idea of this fight. Battle between the old and future super soldier. In terms of arsenal, I'd say Master Chief has it in the bag unless Cap can get up close. which both do happen in this awesome battle. I like how the fight starts out in Chief's domain with a long distance shootout and ends up in a close brawl where Cap excels. Now Cap does kill Chief pretty gruesomely, which I felt was a bit out of character, but I guess Steve needed to make sure he wasn't going to get got that day. Overall, it was very solid, and you can see how SuperPower BeatDown is improving in quality. Another very interesting battle. It's almost exactly like how their Batman vs. Wolverine video should go, considering Deadpool has the same powers as Logan, and Logan killed Batman in their previous fight. Now, the portrayal of Deadpool makes him very rapey for some reason. His mannerisms and jokes are very on track with the character, but he's literally threatening to SA Catwoman. Don't know about that one, Chief. This time around though, we have Batman actually being prepared, and he blows up Deadpool to incapacitate him. I actually don't mind this outcome. It's funny how fans think Wolverine would body Batman, but Deadpool just can't quite do it. The costuming and fighting was great as usual, and the head gag with Deadpool and Deathstroke was pretty funny. I wouldn't rank this any higher or lower than the others, but it was good. Now this is another awesome battle with iconic characters from the 90s. Scorpion from Mortal Kombat versus the White Power Ranger. Now, Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite franchises ever. I love the games and characters, plus Scorpion is way more brutal and dangerous than the Power Rangers, which is why I had my money on him. For this video, they even got Jason David Frank to play the White Ranger.
Game over.
The man who originally played him in the television series. Rest in peace, David. Your legacy will never be forgotten. Considering how heavily into martial arts these characters are, the fighting was downright the best I've seen. Absolutely loved the choreography, and they make you believe you're watching the characters rather than cosplayers pretending to be them. I love the effects they did, like when the White Ranger arrives at the battle in his portal, and when Scorpion lifts his mask to reveal his iconic skull face breathing fire. Fans voted in favor of the White Ranger to win by split decision with a 2% voter difference, which I'm not that upset about considering how well put together this battle was. Definitely a great showcase. So this one is the most different from all the others, except for the Batmobile racing video. We get a fun short film and not a fight sequence in this Halloween special beatdown. Joker has trapped a bunch of civilians in a crazy death maze where Michael Myers and the Looksee from Crypt TV, another awesome short film YouTube channel, prowl the premises, and the winner of this battle is determined on which monster gets the most kills. A very fun and unique idea. Let's see how it goes.
Look around. White, 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 white. Asian, but you could pass, okay? You don't count. You're Team Joker. All right, let's.
Downright brutal. The Looksee scores the most kills and Michael Myers gets pissed and tries to kill the monster. And in a shocking twist, the Joker has the Predator blow up Michael for violating the rules. Okay, they're putting way too many crossovers into one short film. Overall bizarre, but really fun and well put together. Now, believe it or not, this is actually exactly a battle they've previously done. We get Jason David Frank again, but this time as the Green Ranger versus a 90s arcade icon. Instead of Scorpion, he battles Ryu from Street Fighter. Now it follows the same story beats and outcome with the Power Rangers stabbing the arcade fighter, only I'd rank this one a little higher than Scorpion versus White Ranger by 2 small factors. They used more really good visual effects and various costume changes, as well as actually having Jason David Frank throughout the fight instead of just a cameo at the end. The martial arts was very good and overall satisfying the 90s kids' craving. A battle of the ages. Fans have debated on this one for forever, considering how Deadpool is a copycat of Deathstroke. The plot for this one is very strange. Deathstroke kidnaps Santa Claus and Deadpool wants to save him. What the fuck, man? I do appreciate how Deadpool calls out Batinthesun for producing less and less SuperPower beatdowns.
Dragging your feet. Like a certain YouTube channel I know. Naughty, naughty.
I love how early on in the Deadpool vs. Batman video we saw the exact same Wade with the severed head of Slade, meaning he already beat him, and now we get to see the actual showdown, and to nobody's surprise, Deadpool is victorious. The fighting was pretty good, same old Batinthesun Deadpool making those sex jokes, though this time way less because there's no tits for him to stare at. It also has a very funny ending with Deadpool getting the Infinity Gauntlet for Christmas. Such a strange experience, but a fun one. I would say it's second to the Joker and Harley episode, but better than his fight with Batman. So leading up to announcing this battle, Batinthesun said it would be between Batman and Black Panther. So to our shock, when this fight dropped, it was actually Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint and Killmonger. No idea why they changed it up so drastically, but it makes for an even more interesting battle because both of these fighters will kill their opponents, raising the stakes. First of all, I think Killmonger is such an unlikable character, and I love the way the cosplayer portrays him because it's one-to-one with Michael B. Jordan's delivery and it's fucking hysterical.
Who the hell are you?
Name's Killmonger, and I want the Batman. As I live and breathe, the Batman.
Talk.
Your boy Ra's al Ghul brought me back.
I also really dig the Batman costume for this one. At this point, they've done Batman so many times, and I appreciate how the suit changes with every new fight he is a part of. The spectacle and fighting in this one is really good. This one was the second to last battle they would put out, and you see the years of experience with how well this one looks. Batman is the smartest in this battle than all the others he's been in, but that scene where Batman gets distracted mid-fight and looks at a train and gets flashbacks was so fucking funny. All in all, this one was a great showcase of Batinthesun's experience with fan films, and I really like it. The first 2 vs 2 battle they've done, and it is a good one in my opinion. Though I would also see it as very one-sided considering the powers of Deadpool and Domino and the fact that Joker and Harley are just crazy people, Marvel's got another W in the bag. I really admire the acting and storytelling of this one. It's more of a film and not just a fight sequence. They also do a good job with Deadpool, but he still has those weird pervy moments like always staring at girls' tits and saying he'd give Harley his chimichanga. Even more so when Harley distracts Wade by trying to seduce him. I guess I prefer Ryan Reynolds' portrayal above all others, but the video still keeps some really good comedic beats and is staged well. Again, I congratulate them on their longer battles because the more time we spend in the fight, the overall experience is heightened. I can also see this being an hour-long fan film. Also appreciate the chemistry between Joker and Wade here. They did a very good job, but there are overall better battles I've seen, but this one is pretty fucking good. Here's what SuperPower BeatDown is all about. We have an amazing matchup that many nerds have debated over decades who would win in a fight. The portrayal of Superman here is actually some of the best I've seen in a fan film. It was on CW level, and that's me saying that respectfully. I dig the costumes for both, going more traditional comic book goofy looking. Thor's acting was atrocious though.
Are you the one they call Superman? I am Thor of Asgard, and it is customary where I am from for great warriors to battle.
The effects in this one were top notch, and I feel like it was a very well realized battle, having Superman win but keeping the fight close. Why is Thor talking like a high school football player? Yeah, besides the portrayal of Thor, this one is one of SuperPower BeatDown's best. Now, this is a nerd's wet dream. We have 2 of the most popular fictional characters going head to head with a fun premise. Batman is infiltrating the Death Star to free Superman and must battle Darth Vader. This is a very close matchup considering just how strong both of these fighters are, and I must say this video does them justice. Unlike Batman vs. Wolverine, they play into Batman's intelligence as he incapacitates Vader's suit early on and even steals his own lightsaber for a duel. Vader, being the tank he is, uses the Force to power through and battles Batman. This battle had 2 fake outs where Vader beats Batman, but Batman comes back and kills Vader, but Vader survives and finally wins by breaking Batman's neck. Love how they kept you always guessing on who the true winner would be, and also how much effort was put into the sets and CGI. Definitely an elite SuperPower BeatDown, and a definite spot for the top 3. Now this is the best one in my personal opinion. It's such a good matchup that Marvel actually made this a 4-parter comic book a few months ago. Sorry Marvel, but SuperPower BeatDown did it a long time ago and they did it spectacularly. The costumes are so good that Predator looks like he walked straight from the first movie. Wolverine looks amazing and the fight was very entertaining and a great length for the fight. If all superpower beatdowns were this long, I feel like it would make them so much better because you have more time to showcase your combatant skills, where videos that are shorter like Batman vs. Wolverine just feel unrealized. This will be my top choice for superpower beatdown and the one I recommend people when talking about the series.
I thought Beast was ugly.
Wow, that was a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk about the nerdiest stuff on the planet because that's what I do here. Make sure to comment below your favorite and least favorite superpower beatdown. Like the video and subscribe to check out more of my nerd talk. And I hope you all have a great day.
We'll be friends, right? You hungry? Let's go get a drink. Come on. Let's go get a beer. I want a beer. I want probably like 10,000 beers. Come on. Tacos. Let's go get some tacos. God, you're such a stiff. Come on. Get a drink with me.